Three, two, one. This is Nick,
And this is Amanda.
and this is the Performance Plate Podcast. On our podcast, The Performance Plate, we are going to provide an intersection of nutrition and exercise science to provide you guys with evidence-based information and practical tips for optimizing your training and nutrition so that you can achieve your goals in the best way possible. So I'm going to allow Amanda to introduce herself first, who she helps, what she does, and then I will go next.
Hey everyone, I'm Amanda, and I am an online functional health and nutrition coach. Just to explain a little bit here for anyone that might not know, functional health coaching entails looking at a whole body approach. So functional health is this area of healthcare that's based off of the fact that everything's connected, the physical, emotional, and environmental factors. And when you are taking this functional approach with any sort of client case, you are root cause focused. So just as an example, say someone came to me having high insulin. High insulin isn't the issue, right? It's what's causing the high insulin. And we always want to ask why over and over again and connect the dots between all of these different aspects of someone's life to really give you the best plan possible and the best shot at achieving your goals possible. And we're always looking for optimal versus tolerable, because I think a lot of us are okay with how we feel, and we kind of settle. Oh, I just get headaches sometimes, or my stomach doesn't always feel great, or I usually feel bloated. But instead of tolerating things, what if we felt optimal? And that's what I base my coaching off of, and that's why I really like to take the functional approach with nutrition and with health, because I find that it offers my clients the most benefits.
Yep. And I'm Nick. I'm a doctor of physical therapy. I specialize in working with barbell athletes, powerlifters, bodybuilders, but I treat mainly any orthopedic condition that really walks through my doors. Orthopedics is more or less musculoskeletal, muscles, joints, all that fun stuff. A lot of things gym goers feel aches and pains of. And I've been doing this for, it's a crazy thing, 7 years now. I've been practicing. And that whole time I've had a goal to make sure that I show people how resilient their body is, how amazing they are, and how they can do anything they want to do. They just have to make sure they work into it. How can we get them to reach their goals and perform at their highest level without feeling like they're limited, feeling stuck, or in that cycle of pain and discomfort and frustration that we all go through sometimes. So that's what I do. Very brief, very synopsis of just helping people find their resilience. And that's where me and Amanda get along very well, because a lot of what we do, like Amanda said, high insulin is not the problem. It's why is insulin so high, finding the root cause. Same with me. I try to find the root cause of things and why you've been having this back pain, shoulder pain, whatever it may be for so long. And she also says that for like nutrition and metabolism and all that stuff is find your resilience. So we get along so well. We met randomly out of a whim. Actually, she was training at a gym I was trying to market to. And then, what
was that? Kind of happened from there. I think that I actually needed help with my lower back because I was having pain at that time, or maybe it was my shoulder. And
it was something.
Came in to see you. Yeah. And we just instantly hit it off because, like you said, both of our values lie within finding the root cause, right? Truly getting to the root of a problem. And also empowering people.
Yeah.
We want you to be limitless. We want you to evolve. We want you to succeed. Yeah. And that's what we both base our practice off of. So I think that's why we get along so well. And that's why we're doing this now.
Exactly. It's true though. It's what we always agreed on is the limitlessness, the ability to actually do more than you think you can. Yours is from like a nutrition standpoint, mine's from a physical standpoint, but it's embodying it all together. And even from working with you and talking to you for so long, a lot has brushed off into me where I talk to clients a little bit differently based on right. When it's like we brush off on each other and it's like, oh, well, why are you so worried about this? Or like carbs are the enemy. I'm like, well, wait a second, hold on here. You know what I mean?
I have a really great question for you. Why is this so important to you? Like, why is getting to the root cause of issues and empowering people so important to you?
I think so. The root cause part is just because that's just a whole thing where you got to find what's wrong. But the empowering thing is because realistically, a lot of people feel very unlikely like they're going to be told they can't do something. Nobody likes being told they can't do something. Think when you were 5 years old and your mom was like, don't touch the stove. And you're like, I
I
want
have
to
to
touch.
now.
Yeah, exactly. I want to touch it, but I shouldn't. Nobody likes being told they can't. And nothing is more debilitating when someone walks in and they're like, I was told I can never do this again. And I'm like, well, wait a second. Is there an actual reason why, or were you just told that? And then it started clicking in my brain where it was like, oh, what? Like, you got to really be able to do what you want to do, because that's where you find fulfillment. If you're not getting to your fulfillment, you'll never truly be happy in the way you want to be happy. And that's where the empowerment comes. And fun, quick story is when I first started treating, not that like 7 years ago, I say not that long ago, like it was yesterday, but it's 7 years ago at this point. I had a triathlete who had all this crazy stuff going on. And she came into me and she's like, Nick, my biggest dream is to run Kona one more time. And if you're a triathlete or an Ironman, Kona is like the big thing. That's the one in Hawaii. It's like what you got to do. She's like, I just want to do it one more time. And I'm like, man, old me is like, there's no way. There is no way you can do this. You shouldn't be able to. You have too much hardware, all this stuff. And I was like a young PT at that time thinking like, no, whatever. And next thing you know, I was like, all right, if we figure out a plan of how you can do it, I'll sign off on it and agree with you and all that stuff. But and I was like, in the back of my head, I was like, she'll never figure this out. And whatever. Lo and behold, she literally comes in her last day before discharge. She's like, I figured it out. I was like, what? I thought the conversation was done. Never going to show up again. She's like, I figured it out. I was like, I don't know what you mean. She's like, I'm going to train my running in the pool. I was like, what? She's like, I'm going to save the miles or outdoors for my really, really long runs, so my hardware doesn't get broken down. And I'm going to do the running in the pool. I'll get more cardiovascular. I get the buoyancy of the water. I'll swim as well right afterwards. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I was like,
code.
I was like, you're literally going to do this. So that clicked in my brain that it's either get on board with people doing what they want to do and helping them figure out how they're going to do it.
That. Yeah.
Quickly, or don't get on board, shoot their shit down. Like they're like, no, you can't do it.
Right.
They get frustrated, they get upset, and they're going to do it anyway. And then maybe be hurt more,
I love that. Yeah.
I was just like, nope. All right. And that's kind of like started sparking my brain of like, this is the way to be.
Do you know how she did?
I know she ran another one, but I don't know if she actually ran Kona again, because you have to qualify for that and all that. So
gotcha.
I don't know how far she made it. Because then I moved to Maryland and all that fun stuff. Okay. But same to you. Why is it so important to you?
There's so many reasons. I think growing up, I think a lot comes from struggling with confidence and just not even knowing what was possible for myself. And once I started to figure that out and started to empower myself through the gym and through nutrition and taking care of myself in that physical way, it showed me what was possible. Like it really, if there's a will, there's a way. And I think that that's what your story was getting at too. And I think that a lot of people don't even see that opportunity. They don't even know that there's certain things that are possible for them. Like I get people that just want to feel better. Like they just want to get through the day without having to take a nap because they're so exhausted. And I'm like, girlfriend, you could have this times 10. Like you have no idea, and I think that I really just want to get that across to people. Like you have so much power. And if I, can be someone that helps you see that and that guides you along that journey, then that's everything to me because I've had that in my life too. And it's been nothing short of miracles.
It's true. When you, and this, I went through stomach issues way back when, and to the point where I like 119 pounds again, crazy stomach issues. And I started eating right, feeling good. Not that I was eating wrong, we'll say right and wrong, but like not eating optimally, not taking care of
yourself.
Yeah.
At that time. Yeah.
And then I started doing that, and man, I never felt better. I was like, wow, I didn't know how good I could feel. Yeah. I think that's part of too. We've talked about this before.
You don't know what you don't know.
Your clients don't know how good they can feel if they do what they need to do to take care of themselves more. And it's not that they're not, they just don't know how can they improve even slightly, just improve a little bit, Yeah. So
absolutely.
It's such a cool thing. I think I love that our visions always have aligned since we just randomly met out of nowhere. It was just kind of awesome. And that's really what this Performance Plate podcast is all about, is really showing you, one, you can do anything you want to, giving you tips to be able to do anything you want to, optimizing your performance, giving you some research, doing all that fun stuff, and having fun while we do it. That's what that's why we
Definitely.
did this.
I was having that thought last week because you always want to come back and check up on what your values are, and I honestly think that's a good question we could, I want to ask you right now, are like, what are your values as just a person?
Yeah.
Because it really plays into like your business and how you operate and how you serve people. And I was thinking about that. I was like, wow, one of my top values is fun, and not in the sense of like going out and drinking and partying, but in the sense of like, hey, like, let's approach this with a like, and just have fun. Like, let's approach this client case and have fun with it. Let's, create this training plan and have fun with it. And I think that it just, like, you could get to where you want to be two different ways. You could get there by pushing and pushing and pushing.
Yeah.
And fear and negativity, or you could get there by choosing this path of like fun and empowerment and, love. And I just was having that thought last week, wow, like this is something that I really value. And I find that when I like operate from that space, what comes from that is so much better than operating in that like push place.
Yep. I mean, I agree. Like, one of my values is that same thing of have fun. If you've ever worked with me, you've worked with me. If patients never worked with me, it's like I try to make it in a way where you feel like you're hanging out with a friend.
Right.
Yeah, we're here for business. Don't get me wrong. We have things we need to get done, but I want you to feel like you're hanging out with a buddy. Like, we'll shoot the shit. We'll talk about whatever. Like, you want to talk about what you did on the weekend? Great. Like, I have a very open door policy. Like, obviously, I want you to feel comfortable and just have fun with it. Yes, in certain ways, there are times to be strict in that aspect when you're training for events and all of that, but like, you still got to enjoy the process. So if you're going to go through the process, enjoy it instead of getting so wound up in the fact that so beaten down, this stinks. Like, training is hard. Training sucks sometimes, but getting through there, tracking your food sucks sometimes, but it'll make a better person overall. And that's one of it too. 100%. It's like, have fun. The value, that's one of the biggest, have fun in life. I think life's
how we
enjoy it.
Embrace the process. Yeah.
Exactly. So
do you feel like you've made a lot of friends through your work?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, 100%. Like, and just not even since I've opened up my own business, just in general from practicing, because I'm in front of different people all the time. You get to meet different energies of people. Yes. You find out who people you want to be with, who people you don't want to be with.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing. And like, I wouldn't change it for the world. So like, that's one of the other ones too, is my biggest value is like integrity, just keeping people honest, doing what's best for them and not lying to them is a huge factor for me. Is like, listen, we're going to try and give as best research we can to help people out and try to do the best by people. Because what else can you do, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I know. I feel like I'm inspired by my clients all the time too. Like,
oh, totally.
When like I see you were telling that story before, and I thought of 4 different people that I was like, they just have such cool stories, and I just always feel so thankful to be in this space where we're actually able to connect with people like that. Because again, another value is relationships and integrity. And
connection. It's amazing. Every time I drive, every so often, I'm like, damn. It's pretty cool that I get to meet so many different people.
Right.
I really ask everybody, what do you do for work? And it has nothing to do with, I could care less. Like, I care what you do based on like, obviously if it's causing you pain, but I want to know what you do because I'm so interested in every other field that's out there I'm not in.
But that's what makes you such a great PT, because again, you take that full body approach of like truly understanding the person and what makes them tick. And I think when you understand that, you're actually able to help someone so much more. And I think there's a lot of time a disconnect with that in the healthcare industry. It's a lot of people don't actually feel heard by the professional that they're working with. And another thing that we have in common is really just hearing the person, understanding them, and like nurturing that relationship as much as, helping them and giving them the tools to get better.
Yeah. So we obviously agree on a lot of values. So to sum it up, we're so excited to bring the Performance Plate podcast to you guys. Get it out there and hope you enjoy listening. And we'll have episodes launching weekly. And we're going to build up more and more, just present as best info as we can and help you optimize your training. So thanks for
Yep.
listening to this episode, Amanda. As always, it's always a pleasure. And yeah, I can't wait to keep going with this and see how far we, how much, how many more people we help. You know what I mean?
Let's have fun with
Exactly.
it.
I love it. Let's have fun.